If you ever left a conversation with a friend feeling drained and just tired, then you might just be missing some red flags. Today, we're going to talk about some red flags in friendships, specifically female friendships, especially the ones we tend to overlook. And keep watching to the end, where I share some practical tips to help navigate through those red flags or break the connection of those toxic relationships. There's been so much in the headlines with friendships specifically, especially between women. And sadly, you see women has lost their lives and not come back home at all. And it got me thinking about, were there some red flags that may have been there that were missed? Like, what is it that made them think that this person was their friend? How did they miss it? I'm over 40, and I think relationships kind of really hit hard right now. And typically, if you don't have the friends you've had from before, it's a lot harder to create female friendships where you truly feel supported and loved. Or people are holding on to friendships that they maybe should have let go of a while ago, but because they've been in that friendship, they've been with this person for so long that they just stay there. Funny how that's like a real relationship, right? Like a romantic one. But I'm finding at this point in my life, or at this point in your life, if you're over 40 or even if you're over 30, we don't have time for that. We need to truly have the people that value us and are there to build us up. So what are some of these red flags that you're not seeing? Red flag number one, you cannot be yourself around them. You are constantly walking on eggshells on them. You're either mincing your words or not saying anything at all just to keep the peace. And this person may either blow up or just create a lot of tension if you say something. So you suppress your opinions, you suppress your desires, and all of a sudden you're suppressing your identity. And this can cause some not only exhaustion, but resentment later on because you're not being yourself. You're not even being valued by this person because you're just keeping quiet the whole time. And you kind of have to think about, why is it that you continue to do that? Is it because you fear rejection? You want to keep that relationship, so to keep the peace, you're going to keep allowing this energy in your life? Red flag number two, one-sided effort. Now I think this can easily be seen, but you tell me. This is where they only talk about themselves. You call them and the conversation becomes all about them. They don't ask you how you're doing. They don't ask you what you're doing. Don't ask you where you're going. Don't ask you anything. Matter of fact, when you help them with a problem, more than likely, they're not going to reciprocate at all. They're just going to strictly think about themselves. Meanwhile, you're being that true friend to them. Like, how many times have that happened to you? Red flag number three, they violate your boundaries and can have really controlling behaviors, meaning your no is not no for them. If you say no, they find a way to guilt trip you into doing what they want. I mean, every once in a while, of course, we want people to say yes, but constantly and leaving you to feel like you're always the bad person, that's not a good feeling. They also try to control who you spend your time with, how you spend your time. Then they'll try to influence your decisions. All of a sudden, you can't even make the right decisions anymore. What they say goes. This is a very, very toxic trait. And like I said before, sometimes our friendships are very much like romantic relationships. And sometimes we would never take that from another man, but we forget that this is a true relationship that you truly have to work at, where there has to be respect, has to be love there, have to be support, encouragement. And if you won't allow those negative things with your partner or your man, why you're allowed now in these friendships. So you don't need someone to constantly criticize the choices that you make or even the things that you try to aspire to. Their main goal is to basically prioritize themselves in your life before anything else. Red flag number four, you feel drained after any interaction with them or most interaction with them. Whether it's a phone call or you're meeting up with them, as soon as you leave, you just feel drained because it's constant negativity. They may even just do emotional dumping where they just dump all the negative things going on in their lives and constant complaining. It's just over and over and over at you. Meanwhile, you haven't got one word in, but that's all they do. And they don't even consider your feelings in the meanwhile. Like, it's good to vent to your friends, but even while you're venting, like, If I'm saying something that upset me about, I don't know, my relationship or something like that, um, I'm not going to one just keep going and going at it and like, oh, I'm like, I'm sorry. I just keep dumping on you. How are you doing? Like, what's going on with you? Like, if they never just stop to think, you know what, I'm making it all about me, then you probably need to reevaluate that friendship. They should at least pause every once in a while to ask you how you're doing. There's one thing to be, I mean, some seasons are very, very traumatic and we all go through our trials and tribulations, but you still need to, if you're that friend, you still need to ask your friends how they're doing. Oh, I hate this one. And I don't know if I can let that slide, but maybe you can, I can't, and you shouldn't. And that's when they belittle you and criticize you. And it might just be little jabs that they throw at you, especially in front of people. And I don't know if you've seen these clips where you have the pick-me's, and they're like, oh, I couldn't wear all that makeup like you. Like little jabs at you at your expense, especially in front of other people. That is basically the goal, is to bring you down. They question every decision that you make. They criticize every decision that you make. That couldn't be me. That couldn't be me. It causes you to doubt yourself. Like in the beginning, when this person may have given you a lot of compliments, but when you look at the underlying, let me see, like they'll give you compliments, but underneath it, there's some shade there and you don't realize it till you really start thinking about it. And sometimes if you're finding that you are being drained and you're getting like some of these red flags are showing up, you kind of need to sit back and reevaluate some things. Red flag number 6, how they treat others is toxic. Be very careful of how your friend treat other people. I promise you, they're going to start treating you that way. I had a friend and I always made excuses for this person. And I would say, no, they didn't mean that. No, that's not what they meant. And no, that's just how they are. Don't worry about it. That's just how they are. Yeah, long and behold, I was getting treated the same way and I was shocked. Like, why would they treat me that way? We're friends. Like, what? Yeah, I got it. So I learned, if I notice that this is how you treat other people, it's going to eventually get to me. So if you have someone that is being toxic to other people, they're more than likely going to start doing that to you too. If they're rude to like the service workers, they're going to start being rude to you. Especially if they're not, like if they're from a pretty good family and they just seem to treat their family like crap, pay attention to that, because that's their blood. If they treat them that way. Red flag number 7, there always seems to be some type of jealousy or constant competition going on. You share good news and they don't really seem to be happy for you. Matter of fact, they might start telling you their great news from your great news without even telling you, good, that was a good job. Steering away any great or good thing that happened to you away from you and back towards them. They'll often compare your achievement to their experiences. They'll diminish your success by pointing out any flaws you may have or downfalls. Like, why are you bringing up bad things when I'm celebrating something good? Right? They sometimes make compliments that sounds like praise, but underneath it is not at all, just straight shade. It has a very negative undertone. And especially if you're in the spotlight, they're going to hate it. They're going to hate it. They're not going to like any light to shine on you. Now that I probably got you nice and triggered, what do you do about these red flags? Like, how do you navigate through that? I got some tips for you. One is to trust your gut. If you're feeling like, are they being a certain way towards me? Or do they seem a little jealous? Dang, I noticed that they didn't even congratulate me. You're probably right. You need to trust your gut. Trust that spirit that's telling you that this person may not have good intentions, may not be celebrating you. You have to be very careful with that. Because sometimes these people, they're not friends to be your friend. They're just friends to be around you, because they might just be your friend because you're connected to other things. And so they're trying to leech off of you. So you got to be careful. Or they're just monitoring you to see what you're doing. There's just people like that. So you have to be careful who you have in your circle. So when your gut is telling you something, listen to it, pray about it. And if you're still feeling like, okay, like I said before, when you're starting to see these red flags, if you need to write it down to get all your feelings out and truly see what it is that you're feeling, sometimes that would help you for later on, what I'll say, in really, navigating through that. One of my closest friends, my best friend, she writes a lot, and she tells me that she'll go back years and notice some of the things that she noticed in other people, and she's like, you know what, I ignored that. So maybe you need to write certain things down when you're feeling some type of way. The next one is kind of difficult. You might have to have that hard, honest conversation with them. If this friendship is important to you, you're going to have to express how you feel. And I like to think about, actually state certain things that actually happen. Like, if I don't know, if I said, oh my God, I just got the promotion. You got the promotion? You got the promotion? I would bring that up. It's like, I noticed that when I shared my news about this promotion to you, you didn't say congratulations. You didn't say I'm proud of you. You questioned it. I felt like you didn't think I deserved it, or like, am I wrong? What was the energy behind that? What you're going to have the hard conversation. And I would recommend giving actual instances of where you felt like, these red flags were showing up. So that way you can have an open and honest conversation about it. If it means that much to you, I say talk about it, and hopefully they're receptive to it. Next one is to set boundaries. You're going to have to learn to say no. Say no and stick to it. And then see how they respond. Because if they respond negatively, maybe the first time, couple times, they're just not used to saying no. But you need to start saying no. And if your no is going to always be a problem, then maybe you need to remove yourself from that person. Limit your access. So maybe you don't have to cut them off completely, but create some space in between. Perhaps that space can have them question what it is that's going on with the relationship with you guys. Or, hey, maybe it's just that relationship would just slowly but surely fade away. I think sometimes we have to realize that certain friendships are just for a season. Maybe you're not meant to be friends forever, that BFF, Maybe that's not for you and that person. Maybe that person was supposed to be in your life for that time, or you were supposed to be in their lives for that time. Because I'm a believer in that we are here to serve others, and sometimes you're only there to serve them for that moment, whether it's for you to help them or for them to help you, but it was not for that relationship to remain the same the whole time. It was just supposed to be for that season, and then you move on. And lastly, I would say to choose peace over history. I said it earlier, just because you've been friends with somebody for 20 years, I do work on friendships. Like, if we can have a conversation and we can truly talk about it and we can grow and learn from it and move on, that is amazing. That is awesome. But if you can have these conversations, you've set the boundaries, you've kind of created some space for both of you guys to think and maybe reconnect again. But if you've done all of that, prayed about it and everything, and this person is still toxic with you, this person is still very much giving negative energy even after 20 years, and you're still getting that, it's time to let it go. It's time to let it go, because there is no benefit for you. One, two, you're being depleted. You're being depleted by this person. And for what? As we get older, I truly believe in making sure that we foster and nurture the relationships that we have. And that's the positive ones. That's the ones we need to stick to. This world is hard enough already for me to keep, or for you to keep, all this negative energy around you. So to recap, friendship should be a positive, safe space. So if you feel like you're not getting any of that, even after having a whole conversation, maybe it's time for you to walk away. Let me know in the comments if you have seen some of these red flags in friendships that you had to let go of. I don't want to start nothing in the comments. So if you're still friends with the person, don't want to say anything, that's fine. But let me know if you see some of these red flags. What did you do? How did you have to walk away, or did an honest conversation work out for you? Anyways, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Bye.